Kevin Haig.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. It's greatly appreciated. I want to begin by expressing my support for remarks made by the Minister from the Chair earlier today around the tone of the debate today, because it has been a constructive tone. It's been good to see government members taking calls, and that's the kind of exchange of ideas that I think the bill will benefit from. I'm going to take some calls on price issues later on, but I want to take this call specifically on local alcohol policies. Members will be aware that I've been giving a rolling lecture on health promotion theory during the debate on this bill and others. Local alcohol policies are a great way of putting into place health promotion theory. But in this call I want to focus a little bit on health promotion practice, because best practice in health promotion involves health promoters, experts, getting alongside communities and becoming resources to them. So assisting them with certainly potentially money to implement programs, but perhaps more importantly with information, research, knowledge about what has worked in other places, access to decision makers and to policy making processes, with the objective of assisting that community to certainly to influence the environment that surrounds it and in which it must live, and I guess this is where local alcohol policies come in, but also critically to take ownership of identifying the issues that that community wants to work on and the kinds of solutions that will work for that community. And that's critically important, because it's each individual community that has the expert knowledge about culture, values, ways of doing things within a particular community. They are the ones who will know what will work and what won't work. And so I want to support the basic idea of local alcohol policies. I think it's a fundamentally important idea, because it is about both of those things. It's about empowering communities, and it's also about specifically addressing the environment that surrounds those communities, and I've already discussed that, as have other speakers in this debate. The issue that I want to come to is the issue that's addressed in my supplementary order paper, which is around making these local alcohol policies mandatory rather than voluntary. And the Minister has addressed that in her remarks, and I thank in particular my colleague Dennis O'Rourke for his contributions, and he's probably explained my SOP better than I'm going to have the opportunity to do. The particular point that I want to address that responds in part to the Minister's comments is this: that in many of our territorial local authorities, the TLA represents not just one particular community, but rather a multitude of communities. You take a TLA like Auckland Council, for example. I guess that's the example we're all going to think of. Now, one couldn't really say that Auckland is simply one community. Certainly from a health promotion point of view, it isn't. It's a multiplicity of different communities with different interests. And the Minister, in her own remarks, noted that the environment around alcohol, and indeed community motivations around alcohol in different parts of Auckland, would be different. And therefore, a voluntary regime runs this risk that particular communities that are heavily impacted by alcohol and desperately want to have local alcohol policies may be thwarted by other communities within that TLA. We need, sir, in this House, to empower those communities and to ensure that they do get the say that everyone, I think, wants them to have. And the way to do that, sir, is through making local alcohol policies mandatory. Thank you.
Charles Chauvel.
Thank you, Mr.